Good day, Harry. How are you, sir? I am, thank you. All right.
Oh, okay.
It's not you. Okay, it's close. I put the receipt thing up there.
Okay, thank you. Trying to figure out where I would go. It's gonna be the very last one. Look back around. Thanks. Right here. And this is not included on your flash drive, so I had to give it to you.
Okay. Okay, all right.
That's gonna go, that's the first thing in our instant information.
Good enough. That sounds great. Yeah, I do somewhere. Let's see. All right. Yes, ma'am. You're welcome. See if that writes. Okay. Does it? All right. Okay. His mask will take your breath away. Okay, it's With the regular meeting of the Edgecombe County Board of Education, October 18, 2021, please come to order. To honor social distancing related to the coronavirus pandemic, the public may attend this meeting per capacity of 25. In-person attendance will be on a strictly first-come basis. The public, however, may view the meeting via our YouTube. Please stand and join me as we pledge allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing, if you will. I would be remiss, and we would, if we did not do a moment of silence for two persons in our district whom we lost. First is a bus driver from Southwest, Miss Mary Williams, who was funeralized this past Saturday, and then a senior at North Edgecombe, Devon Hargrove. Please join me in a moment of silence in remembrance of those persons. You may be seated. Board member Ann Kent will not be in attendance. She's recuperating from recent surgery. Item number 2, the approval of the agenda. Any additions or deletions?
Yes, we do have a few. 9.2B, approval of the purchase of CT instructional materials. If we would remove that item, 9.2B, if you'd remove that.
Okay.
And if you would add 9.5A, approval of the facilities use application for the Brantley family using North Edgecombe High School gym for a funeral on October 23rd. If you would add that, 9.5A.
Are there others? Hearing none, do we hear a motion to accept the agenda as amended?
Mr. Chair, I make a motion to accept the agenda as amended.
Second.
It has been motioned and second that the agenda as be accepted as amended. You've heard that motion and second. Any further discussion? And those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposers, like sign. Ayes have it, and that motion carried. Item number 3, recognitions 3.1.
Okay, I do want to stop. It looks like we're on mute.
Oh,
Oh, Rose, is that something you can fix? Can you? No. Okay. Abby, you want to check? It looks like it's on mute. Oh, Ryan's coming. Okay. Thank you. It looks like we're on mute, are we not? No? Okay.
Okay.
I apologize.
All right.
Thank you.
that's good. Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Good evening, Board Chair, Madam Vice Chair, members of the Board, Superintendent Dr. Bridges. I'm excited to announce this month's Employee of the Month. Mary Schultz is a school psychologist for our district. Ms. Schultz was nominated by West Edgecombe Middle School, and Principal Dr. Ballard had this to say about Ms. Schultz. As the school year started, we had many new EC enrollments and several out-of-state EC enrollments. Ms. Schultz was only a phone call away, and she quickly made her way to the school to help. She has faxed record requests, called schools, parents, and former teachers to hunt down necessary information for students. She constantly goes above and beyond for students and staff. Her kindness and compassion does not go unnoticed. She also does an excellent job working with EC teachers to support them and help with paperwork. She is knowledgeable in so many areas and a true team player. We couldn't have made it over the past few opening weeks of school without her help. Congratulations to Mary Schultz, our ECPS Employee of the Month for October. And I also have Ms. Schultz a gift card from Greg Sessoms, a State Farm agent here in town.
Congratulations. Thank you. Okay.
Good.
Thank you. Congratulations.
At this time, I'd like to invite two special guests to the podium with NC Works. Duna Long with Turning Point Workforce Development, and Brandy Bragg, who is with Northeast NC Career Pathways.
Hi, as she said, my name is Brandy Bragg. I'm the Career Pathway Facilitator for Northeastern North Carolina. So I cover 20 counties, including Edgecombe. And one of the things that we do is work together to identify career pathways that are high demand in our region, that pay sustainable wages, and try to help students and job seekers alike figure out how to get from where they are to where they need to be in order to get those jobs that are right here in their backyards. This is Duna Long. Duna works with the Turning Point Workforce Development Board, and she really focuses. She has been instrumental in pulling this together. We wanted to present to you guys, and actually Duna dropped this off a little early because COVID messed up all of our plans for presenting this stuff, but your CTE department particularly worked very hard along with many others in this community, including the community college, including the NC Work Center, the Workforce Board, lots of employers in the area, and even some community agencies, to take the pathways that we had regionally accepted, and they localized them for what particular classes you offer in your schools, including what particular classes are offered at Edgecombe Community College. And Duna actually created an awesome video that will give you a little bit more information, and it's pretty quick, so we would love to share that with you.
What is local implementation of a career pathway? First, let's explain career pathways. Students need careers that pay a livable wage. Employers need skilled workers. To solve both of these issues, Career Pathways work was started in North Carolina to educate students on the careers that pay a livable wage that are also growing in our area. This helps students make informed decisions on their career based on data from North Carolina Department of Commerce. Then those same careers need to have an easy path for students to achieve the credentials or degrees that are needed for these jobs. So the schools, K through 12, community colleges, and four-year universities are working together to make it easier to go from high school to the community college and on to a four-year university, if that's needed. Also, business and industry are involved in career pathways work by providing information on their careers and providing work-based learning opportunities like job shadowing, internships, mock job interviews, tours, guest speakers, and more. Our regional workforce development is also helping by providing funding for qualified job seekers to go to school to earn these credentials. It's good work that we are striving to continue. Now you better understand career pathways work. Let's talk about what local implementation is. Career pathways work started regionally. Northeastern North Carolina was the first region to become certified by the state of North Carolina. Local implementation takes the good work of career pathways that was done regionally and modifies it for each county with the goal of increasing the number of youth and adults entering the pathways. The committee is made up of K-12 schools, community colleges, workforce development boards, NC Works, businesses, partners like chambers of commerce and vocational rehabilitation. So how does this benefit students? Most importantly, relationships are built between partners, which helps build support and the sharing of information. So when a student says to a teacher, "I don't know what career to choose," that teacher knows more about tools that could help that student dive into information to make an informed decision. Not just what career to pursue, but what school do I go to get those credentials needed? How much does it cost? How long will it take? Who are the businesses hiring for those jobs? It is an ever-evolving process. With the constant change in our world, all of this information needs to be monitored and shared, which is part of the ongoing need to meet with partners. It is beneficial work, and we appreciate your support.
And we absolutely do. We congratulate you for taking the time and the effort to put into this towards building up these students for these careers that we have in the area. And Duna had something else she wanted to share with you guys.
This is sort of in line with it. We are offering now a virtual job fair that we're going to then convert into a career fair. So it's going to be a live virtual event for people who are looking for jobs in our 5 counties of Edgecombe, Nash, Halifax, Northampton, and Wilson counties. So employers from there will be hiring on November 10th, but then we're going to shut it down and no more hirings going on. But your CTE teachers or anybody that wants to, if we can go down into elementary, and they can go in and explore those businesses as well as the careers that they actually have that have been posted and hopefully filled. So it's a new idea that we got from a Wilson CTE coordinator, and we hope it's going to be a success. So I'm going to leave the flyer for y'all.
And what's your picture of Dr. Bridges and
Okay. May I also, will you take one with mine too, please? It's easy, you just push the button. Thank you.
Yes.
Want to get, oh, okay.
Thank
Thank you all.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you so much.
We appreciate it. Thank you. Yes, indeed.
Thank you, Ms. Taylor.
Take care.
Absolutely.
At this time, I'd like to invite Coach Jeff Craddock to come forward, please. Yeah, come on up.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask, no, you're fine.
Okay.
I'm gonna ask to amend the agenda to 3.3. I left that off for recognizing Charter High School football team.
Okay, so I'm sure everybody here knows he needs no introduction. So this is Jeff Craddock, the football coach at Charter High School, and we just wanted to bring him here tonight to recognize him for all that he does. Specifically, you know, his latest state championship. The team defeated East Surrey back in March or April. May. Okay, yeah. So the football season got a little messed up. So they actually had their state championship in May, and of course they won their the school's 7th state championship, the 6th state championship under Coach Craddock. So we just wanted to thank you, congratulate you, and we're looking forward to the state championship that we held in December this year, hopefully, right?
It is.
So we just wanted to congratulate you, thank you, and want to get a picture with you and Reverend Privet and Dr. Bridges.
Let's please give them a hand.
Yes.
Do I get to stand in the middle?
You can stay in the middle, yes.
All right, thank you very much.
All right,
Thank you so much.
Congratulations to the guys.
Thank you.
Item number 4 on the agenda, public hearing, 4.1, public hearing regarding the proposed redistricting plan. We open the floor now for any persons who would like to speak on behalf or comment on behalf. Going once? Twice? Hearing none, we move now to item number 5, public comments. I have the sign-up sheet. It is blank. And so we move to item number 6, the approval of the open session minutes. None. Okay. All right. Then we move to item 7.1, school updates. Dr. Bridges?
Absolutely. So you all have a few copies this time, a few sheets, and I just want to cover those. The first one is early learning updates. Through our partnership with Kellogg, TIP, which is the innovation project, ECPS has begun work to ensure more of our students are prepared for kindergartners. So as you see in your handout, we have 3- and 4-year-olds who are not currently enrolled in childcare or pre-K. We are doing learning pods with those students. We have approximately 12 of those students. We are collaborating with Family Resource Center, which is Miss Lynetta Scott. Aaron Swanson and Paula Fife have all worked on this project. We're excited about this. This provides a lot of opportunity for our students at a very early age. Head Start and Down East Partnership are also local agencies that are partnering with us. So we're excited about that and just wanted to bring that to your attention. We have 2 locations, Edgecombe and Rocky Mount. Okay? And then the second item down to the middle of the page is the ECPS Employee Supplement. We have talked about this previously, but we know that we have $1,000 COVID bonus that will go to all of our full permanent employees at the end of the month. There will be 2 payouts, one in October and one in April. One of your attached sheets is the FAQ, just so you will be aware, and that's a 2-page sheet front and back. I wanted to print that out so you'd have a hard copy. I will also send you this document via email so that you will be able to click on that hyperlink and see any of those frequently asked questions, so that if you're asked questions, you're able to reference this or send them back to us so that we can answer those questions properly. Also noted here are that our school bookkeepers will provide additional clarity because they may get some of those questions from each of the schools. At the bottom, excited about this, Hope and Hometown Hires. So through a partnership with ROI, students at Hope will have an opportunity to get paid for gainful employment. And one of those folks who in our community who is willing to hire our students is Rusty's Peanut Brittle Company. That's located in downtown Tarboro. They are able to work, I think, Tuesdays and Wednesdays from 4 to 7. So we're excited about that. If you go to your second page, you see that Hometown Hires. Peacemakers is also doing some job training and employment with our students, and we're excited to be able to offer that. This is one of the ways that Mr. Williams, who's the coordinator for Hope, is trying to make sure that he has some value-added resources for the Hope students and able to kind of put them in a different trajectory. So we're excited about that and thankful. Last on your sheet is the Covet Dashboard, and I just wanted you to see our numbers. Again, there's a hyperlink there, but we have a picture of what you'll see in the hyperlink. Our numbers are decreasing, and we're proud of that and thankful. We had 7 new student cases. This is of October 15th, which is every Friday is the uptake. 7 new student cases, 1 new staff case. It gives you the total from the beginning of the school year, 215 and 34. Again, we are going down, and we are happy and pleased with that. I'll stop there, see if there are any questions that you may have regarding any of these items.
Question?
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. B. 7.2, maintenance updates, Mr. Williams. Thank you, ma'am.
Good evening, Mr. Board Chair, Superintendent Dr. Bridges, fellow board members. A few maintenance updates. We started working on our boilers, getting ready in preparation for heating season. We do have a couple of issues that we've ordered and got addressed. North Edge Cone, we had to order a hot water pump that serves the boiler. It will not be here until the end of this week. Once we get it in, get our hands on it, we'll get it installed. So just in case, we come up short, we are dealing with COVID, so delivery issues are a concern, but we are trying to do everything we can to get it here in time. But that's why we started working on them earlier before heating season got here. Phillips boiler, we did demo out the old boiler that did not work last heating season. All Red Mechanical will get their hands on it supposedly tomorrow and start on the install on the 25th. So that gives us about 3 weeks before it really starts to turn cold to get that boiler in. But on the flip side of that, we have installed, we'll see shorter in a few slides. We do have the 6 air conditioners in that have heat and air in them in the B hall. And we also installed 3 window units in front of the gym, which gives us those 9 classrooms we talked about last month to have heat and air that function independently of the chiller and the boiler. So we made it work last year at North when we did not have heat. So in anticipation, if let's just say worst case scenario, we don't get the parts in time, we still should be able to function at North because we functioned with 5 classrooms at North with Phillips there last year. So with 9, we should be able to make this work. That's worst case scenario. Also, West Edge Cone, we still have not received those carrier air conditioner units that were for the media center. They were ordered in July. We're going into the end of October. We still have not received them. We did put window units in, but those parts have been on order since July, and we have not received them. But we're still in contact with our vendor. It's just a matter of getting parts out of the warehouse. TikTok. It's killing us.
Yes.
So as you can see, I won't call the school's name, but these are some of the bathrooms. They're ripping the dispensers off the walls, taking the paper towels, stuffing up the toilets, clogging up the sinks. We're having to send our plumber, so we can't get to everything, but what we're finding ourselves having to do is go stop water from running all over the floor because they ripped the stuff off of the wall. So these things are not free. Like those dispensers are almost $50 each. So you figure 5 or 6 to a bathroom at a high school across the whole district. So it adds up really quick. So I'll be honest, we're not putting them back. What we decided to do was take the foamy soap dispensers, which is like hand sanitizer, put them outside in the hallway. So as they use the bathroom, they have to come out to the hallway to clean their hands. But we'll put them back eventually once this subsides, but we just do not have enough inventory across the district to keep replacing these like every week. They're taking the soap, putting it all over the doorknobs. Some of the stuff's a little more filthy, like they ripped all the dispenser, the covers off, took the soap out. It's just, these are the automatic dispensers we put in the MMA. So they came in and they ripped all the cords out the bottom of the sink, which powers the faucet. So just pulled them out, just ripped them out. So the TikTok challenge has taken effect in Edgecombe County. So we're doing the best we can to try to work with them and replace this stuff, but it starts to add up really quick. So we're finding other ways to help them stay sanitized and help them still have tissue. We had some instances where they took the whole roll of a new roll of tissue, took it off the roll, and crammed it down into a toilet and flushed it. So you know that backed up everywhere. So it is happening here. We're doing the best we can. We work with the principals, the custodians to try to monitor these bathrooms. We cannot put any type of camera or anything pointing at the door because, of course, for privacy reasons. But we're doing the best we can to try to slow this down so that we don't have to replace these fixtures like weekly. Here's the air conditioners we installed at Phillips. There's 6 of these in the B hall, so that gives that whole hallway its own heating and air system. We still control it. They get a 2-degree variance where how they want to change it, but we still control whether it's heat or air, and we try to set the temperature at like 72 so they can bump it up to 74 or as low as 70. So these are in. We haven't turned them on because we're just trying to wait for that season to actually get cooler, but we tested them, but they're not actually running at this point. Bottle fillers are in. We have Stocks, Coker, Phillips, Tarboro High, Martin, and West each have at least one. The ones that some of the other schools have a rare make of a water fountain, so we had to order a retrofit kit. And so North, Patillo, Princeville, Bullock, Southwest, Carver, and South Middle, we had to order a different type. But they are here. We are working on them. The ones on the right that says on order are the schools that do not have any at this time. All right, just a little more information. All the schools have heating fuel. Carver's lobby, that material is on back order. So that cafeteria and that when you come in the main entrance of Carver's Elementary, right there at the gym wall, we have not been able to repair that leak. We slowed it down, but of course over time it's going to continue to get worse. So we don't expect B&M to get their roofing materials till the end of November. So we'll do the best we can to make it work, but we cannot get any supplies from the suppliers until the end of November. We can get patching material, but again, it's only going to work for maybe a couple of weeks or depending on how much rain we get. Coker 300 Hall, those units will be replaced in November. Carver Kindergarten, we're still waiting on that material, those air conditioning units to come in. West 600, we've got those finally. They just came in today, actually. So we'll get that on the schedule. I have to work out a class schedule with Dr. Ballard so we can move kids around because there's quite a bit of ceiling work that has to go on in class. Phillips boiler, as we talked about, that'll be in starting the 25th, which is probably the end of next week. The boiler is here with already mechanical. And also, we're still looking at, we're not giving the contractors back that metal. It's just too expensive. We can get that money and keep it for ourselves. So I'll get with Dr. Bridges. We'll figure out how to make this work as far as the money coming back and some of the things we can do with it. Like we shared before, we can use it to purchase technology. We can use equipment for maintenance, or we can even provide dinner for our staffs if that's something logistically we can work out. But it's just a way to try to do stuff. They try to recycle the money versus giving it back to the contractor, plus paying them the money that we pay them to do the services. PPE was delivered the first week, October 8th. So every school got masks, gloves, hand sanitizer, foamy soap. They have it all. But they may say they don't have enough, which they do have enough. We're just not going to give them a closet full because some of the stuff, some people prefer certain things over others. We can't function that way. We have to use what's available. So if you like Lysol wipes, but Lysol wipes are not available at this time, we have to use the GE Fight Back or a disinfectant spray. But they do have plenty of sanitizing supplies in the building. So here's the contracts we have out now. North Edgecomb's chiller, Carver's chiller was $445,823. Southwest, both the chillers at Southwest was $372,000. Carver's windows, to replace those windows is $419,234. West Middle School, to replace all those old aluminum windows is $481,280. And the Patillo chiller, which is the chiller closest, two chillers, the chiller closest to the building, is $332,458. So all these are under contract and giving us a total of a little over $2 million. And we still have 4 more projects out there that we're waiting for them to come back. So the extra money that maintenance received we're going to go through it pretty fast. But it helps us out in the long run because a lot of the air conditioning and heating problems that we have in our buildings, we're going to eliminate. We're also including in these, we're upgrading the fire detection systems in the buildings. We're also upgrading the controls for these systems. So now we can actually do all of them from our laptop versus having to go to the system, log into it with our computer, hook up to it and monitor it. As we did with Stocks and Princeville, we can actually find out what the problem is before we even hit the site, which helps us in turn being able to actually troubleshoot and make the repairs versus driving there, troubleshooting, then going to get the parts.
Mr. Williams, on those windows, replacement windows, is there like a warranty for so many years that they should last?
Yes. Each one of the window products comes with a 10-year warranty. 10-year manufacturer, 1-year contractor. So the contractor is responsible for 1 whole year free of charge on anything that's like mechanical on it. Now, if we go out there and break it, of course, it's on us like a cracked glass. But as far as them functioning, opening, closing like they should, or leaks, they're responsible for that for the first year. But 10 years after that, for 10 years, anything that's wrong with it as far as a manufacturer defect, they will take care of it. As far as the manufacturer will replace it. Now, we just have to provide the labor after the first year.
Now, these double pane,
Yes, sir.
so
And double pane
it'll
insulate.
save a lot.
Yes. So that we should start to see our energy bills coming down after we get these in.
Okay. Mr. Williams, one question. The patella chiller,
Yes, sir.
what is a warranty life? About 25 years?
20 years,
20 years,
25
just
if you're lucky. 20 years. So we're at that mark.
We're at that mark.
Yes. And
Right,
we decided not to repair the Patillo chiller because it was going to cost us upwards of almost $100,000 by the time we buy all the Freon, replace the compressors, and the mechanical parts on it. So it didn't make sense to put that kind of money into it, and then we have to replace it again.
Right.
So yes, so that one will be out. Probably, hopefully, we'll have all these in by March. We're not going to take these chillers off the building until we have the other chiller sitting on the ground. So even though we're dealing with COVID, stuff does delay in shipping, but we're not going to take the chiller off until we have the other chiller sitting right there next to it, so that it's an even swap. Any other questions?
Before you had talked about the gym floor over at Patella, that's all squared away, right?
No, that floor, we're working on it. We don't have it under contract yet. We're trying to find a material that, with that site, going back, the back date on that site, it wasn't compacted correctly. I think what happened was when the building was tore down, I think a lot of stuff was packed back versus being hauled off and bringing in the soil to actually compact it so that it would sustain the weight. So now when you have all this built up with all these voids in it, when it rains, the water fills in those voids. So now what we're going to do is we're going to put in a moisture barrier and actually put in a actual rubber surface versus wood. So we're working with Royal Wood Quartz to get this corrected. It worked for about 6 months, and then a couple of months ago we found another hump in the floor.
Okay.
So it is a pretty wood floor, but it's just too expensive to maintain.
So, questions?
Good. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate you. Item 7.3, fundraisers, Dr. B.
Absolutely. There are 3 fundraisers here. You have paperwork in your board book. Southwest Edgecombe High School, 2 of those both are cheering, and then Phillips Middle School fundraiser with us, set for free sale. So those 3 are in between the board meetings. Well, not in between board meetings. Some of them have already started. I just wanted to bring those to your attention, see if there are any questions or concerns with these 3 fundraisers.
Anybody? Hearing none. 7.4.
Okay, 7.4, this is approval for facilities use application for the Bryant family using NMA auditorium for funeral on October 9th. And this was sent in an email and received approval from the board. That's already occurred. I don't know if there are any questions or concerns.
Questions? Okay. No committee reports, 9A, 9.1A.
Okay, if we look at 9.1A, again, these are fundraisers. You see your board book, stocks, MMA, and Southwest Edgecombe High School, Candyman, Art Department, and for the basketball team. Those are the 3 fundraisers there. You see the dates, you see the items that are being sold. Any questions or concerns?
9.2A.
No concerns or anything, but I was just going to let, Raymond knows and everyone, we said Candyman there. The, owner of Candyman passed away, last week.
Wow.
Funeralized, Saturday, Mike Edwards.
Yeah, I remember him way back. I remember him. Yeah. Wow. Okay, sorry to hear that. 92A.
Okay. 92A, we'll ask Ms. Swanson if she'll come forward for the approval to submit the Corning Foundation direct grant to Corning Foundation Incorporated in the amount of $5,000.
Yes. Good evening, Board Chair, Board Vice Chair, members of the board, and Dr. Bridges. So we are so fortunate to have Corning here in our community. So they have been very supportive, reaching out to us ever since they came into our community to see how they could help with various programs. You all know they support our Scholar Teachers program. They support an entrepreneurship program in the middle school. And then they invited us to submit a $5,000 grant. As you all know, Corning is very committed to STEM, certainly to workforce development in our area as well. And so we decided to submit a grant, or a proposal rather, to take a group of community stakeholders on an inspiration visit to see some STEM-related schools in action in New York City. We're going to focus specifically on Rocky Mount stakeholders to support the work that Mr. Cannon is doing with the demerger, so that some of our friends in Rocky Mount can see some innovative schools in action, and hopefully that will inspire some thinking about what our schools here in Edgecombe County and specifically in the Rocky Mount area might look like as we move forward. So we are excited about that, and I'd love to answer any questions you have.
Questions? Hearing none, thank you.
Thank you.
We appreciate you. 94A?
93A.
93A, I'm sorry.
No problem. Approval of contract between Edgecombe County Board of Education and Scribble Software. We'll ask Ms. Pittman if she'll come forward.
Good evening, Board Chair, Madam Vice Chair, Board of Education members, and Dr. Bridges. I present this evening for your approval the renewal of the annual agreement with Scribble Software. Scribbles provides services for our online records request and payment solution. The particular application is known as Scrib Order. There is no direct cost to the school district, and the agreement that you're reviewing tonight was reviewed by our legal counsel last school year as an update. So the annual agreement from Scribbles. Any questions? I'm sorry.
Hearing none, thank you. 94A?
We'll ask Mr. Hayes if he'll come forward for approval to accept the emergency connectivity fund grant funds for the Federal Communications Commission.
Greetings, Board Chair, Madam Vice Chair, Dr. Bridges, school board members. On August 16, 2021, the school board granted approval to submit the Emergency Connectivity Fund grant application to the Federal Communications Commission in the amount of $1,038,088.94 to purchase student devices and Wi-Fi routers and service for school buses to support face-to-face and remote learning. This grant has been awarded in its entirety. Request the board approve to accept the Emergency Connectivity Fund grant from the Federal Communications Commission for the amount of $1,038,088.94 to be used in all ECPS schools to support one-to-one program and remote learning with devices and services. 100% of the funds will come from the Emergency Communications Connectivity Fund grant. Per board policy, the board must be informed of grants that are applied for and or awarded in excess of $1,000.
Okay, any questions?
Mr. Hayes, will it cover all of our buses?
It will. Our whole fleet will be covered with this Emergency
Good.
Connectivity
Okay.
Fund.
Wow,
And service provided for a fiscal year.
okay,
Yep.
wonderful.
Any questions?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
95A?
Okay, 95A, again, you see in your board book, requesting approval of the facility use application for the Brantley family using North Edgecombe High School Gymnasium for a funeral service on October 23rd from 12 to 3 p.m. In your board book, you see the application has been completed by the family. They have paid by check to take care of that. I don't know if there are other questions or any concerns. Be glad to address those as needed.
Questions? Hearing none, I need one motion to approve all of the consent items. Motion and second for the approval of all of the consent items as presented. You've heard that motion and second. Any further discussion? And those in favor, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Opposers, like sign. Ayes have it, and that motion carried. 9B, 91B.
We'll ask Ms. Hoke if she'll come forward for the approval of the 21-22 CPS traditional schools and the Edgecombe Early College High School and the iZone school calendars.
Good evening once again. I'd like to request approval to amend the calendars for 2021-2022 for both the traditional and iZone calendar and the early college calendar. Due to legislation that removed the ability or the flexibility for us to schedule remote learning days, we have 3 that we need to remove from our calendar. Going forward, these days can only be scheduled for emergencies such as weather or loss of power, or if there's a need to go to a remote setting as a result of COVID protocols. So those 3 days you see listed, one was actually last Thursday, and then there's 2 more in the spring semester. We just need to change those from teacher planning days / remote days to just our teacher planning days with no remote learning. Any questions?
Questions? Hearing none, do we hear a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we approve the amended 2021-2022 calendars for traditional schools, iZone schools, and Edgecombe Early College.
Second. It's fine.
Okay. Johnson. You've heard that motion in second. Any further discussion? If not, those in favor, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Opposers, like sign. Ayes have it, and that motion carried.
As you see in your board book, item 9.3B, 9.4B, 9.5B, and 9.6B will be Ms. Paula Fife sharing approval of some purchase items for CISS to move forward.
Okay.
Ask her to come and stay for a while.
I promise not to keep you all night. That won't happen. Good evening, Board Chair.
Good day. All right.
Madam Vice Chair, Dr. Bridges, and members of the board. Tonight I do have multiple purchases for curriculum for our elementary schools. And the first one is the purchase of Learning A to Z as an online platform in the form of a sole source for use by students and teachers. Learning A to Z is a platform that we have been able to utilize in our district for several years. It gives students the ability to access e-readers at home or at school. Teachers have the ability to set the reading levels or reading ranges for students, so when they log in, they're able to access materials that are appropriate for their reading abilities. And it also supports vocabulary development. It supports our EL learners as well as vocabulary instruction and science instruction. So we're very excited and hopeful to be able to offer this, and it would work regardless of whether we were at home or at face-to-face learning. So I do request approval for the purchase of Learning A to Z, an online platform as a sole source this evening for students and teachers with a cost of $60,318.
Questions or comments? Hearing none, do we hear a motion?
Make a motion, we approve of the purchase of Learning A to Z online platform for use by students and teachers with the total cost of $60,318.
Second.
Motion and second for the approval of 9.3B as presented. You've heard that motion in second. Any further discussion? Those in favor, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Opposers, like sign. Ayes have it, and that motion carried. 9.4B.
Thank you. The next item is the purchase of consumable materials that partner with our Benchmark Advanced ELA curriculum, and these materials would be available or we're requesting them to be approved as a sole source to provide continuity of services. We do implement the Benchmark Advanced program in our ELA classrooms K-5, and these consumable materials are materials that students can actually write in, they can annotate text, they can take them home, they can use them in the classroom, and teachers have found them to be quite valuable in our instructional processes. So tonight I request approval of the purchase of Benchmark digital and consumable materials as a sole source for a cost of $79,032.
Questions or comments? Hearing none, do we have a motion?
Mr. Chair, motion to approve the purchase of Benchmark digital and consumable materials for use by students and teachers from Benchmark Advances as sole source for an estimate of $79,032.
You've heard the motion and second, Ms. Worsley. You've heard the motion and the second for the approval of 9.4B. You've heard that motion and second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposers, like sign. Ayes have it, and that motion carried. 9.5E.
Thank you. So the next purchase is we are requesting the approval of the purchase of Benchmark Phonics for grades K2. And this would supplement the Benchmark education curriculum that we currently have in play in our ELA classrooms and is in direct response to the learning loss we have experienced due to COVID. Our students, as you might imagine, in kindergarten, first, second grade, actually all elementary schools have are really experiencing some deficits in foundational literacy skills, and these materials will be a great boost in instruction and as far as also supporting the science of reading, and this particular program comes with decodable readers for our students. And so tonight I request the approval of Benchmark Ultimate Phonics for kindergarten, first, and second grade as a sole source, and in the estimated amount of $114,462.19.
Questions or comments? Hearing none, I need a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we approve the purchase of Benchmark Ultimate Phonics as a sole source for an estimated amount of $114,462.19.
You've heard the motion and the second for the approval of 9.5B as presented. You've heard that motion and second. Any further discussion? If not, those in favor, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Opposers, like sign. Ayes have it, and that motion carried. And 6B.
Yes, the final request this evening is for a Benchmark education program called Benchmark Phonics and Word Study, and this is appropriate for students in grades 3 through 5. It partners with our current Benchmark curriculum that we have in play in our 3-5 classrooms, and again will directly mitigate the learning loss that we have experienced due to COVID. This will help students again with foundational skills, but also with vocabulary and increase word decoding, reading, and reading comprehension. And so if the board so pleases, we would request approval of the purchase of Benchmark Phonics and Word Study for grades 3-5 in the amount of $58,826.46.
Any questions or comments? Hearing none, I need a motion.
Make a motion that we approve the purchase of Benchmark Phonics and Word Study 3-5 in the amount of $58,826.46.
Second.
You've heard that motion and second for the approval of 9.7B. Heard that motion and second. Any further discussion or questions? Hearing none, those in favor, let it be known by the saying of aye. Aye. Opposers, like sign. Ayes have it, and that motion carried.
Thank you all very much.
And we
I
thank you.
appreciate that. Yes.
A lot of money went through your hands
I
tonight.
can spend it. My husband's always said it.
9.7B.
Yes, 9.7B, so each month we have to bring before you approval or to uphold the mask mandate that all students grade pre-K through 13, staff and visitors be required to wear masks in all groups, transportation, including buses, vans, driver education cars, etc., on school grounds and inside all ECPS facilities regardless of vaccination status. So again, bringing this before you, you have the one pager. You certainly have a recommendation, and I will take questions, comments, or concerns.
Questions or comments? Hearing none. I need a motion.
Mr. Chair, motion to uphold the mask mandate that all students grades PK 13 to 13 staff and visitors be required to wear masks in all groups, transportation, including buses, vans, driver's education, cars, etc., on school grounds and inside all ECPS facilities, regardless of vaccination status.
Second.
You've heard that motion and second. Those that you get it.
Ms. Worsley.
Ms. Worsley. You've heard that motion and second for the approval of 9.7B. Any further discussion or questions? Hearing none, those in favor, let it be known by the saying of aye. Aye. Opposers, like sign. Ayes have it, and that motion carried. 9(8)B.
I'll ask Ms. Pittman to come forward for approval of the 21-22 beginning teacher support program plan.
Good evening again. Tonight, I request board approval of the 2021-2022 Beginning Teacher Support Program Plan as required by North Carolina State Board Policy. The Beginning Teacher Support Plan that is in your board book details the support to be provided to the beginning teachers of Edgecombe County Public Schools, and it addresses various areas that are required through the state, such as program administration, mentor teacher selection, the observation and evaluation process, and the development of professional development plans, just to name a few. Are there any questions about the 2021-2022 Beginning Teacher Support Program Plan?
Hearing none, we need a motion.
Ask for motion that we approve the 21-22 beginning teacher support plan as presented.
Second.
Has been motion and second for the approval of 9.8B, approval of the 2021-2022 Beginning Teacher Support Program Plan. Heard that motion is second. Any further discussion or unreadiness? Hearing none, those in favor, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Opposers, like sign. Ayes have it, and that motion carried. Thank you, Ms. Pittman. Ms. Scott, would you take us into closed session, please?
Sir, I make a motion under the North Carolina Open Meetings Law, Section 143-318.11, A1, A3, A6, and A8, to go into closed session to consider personnel matters, to consult with the attorney to preserve attorney-client privilege information, to prevent the disclosure of student records rendered confidential under the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act 20 U.S.C. 1232G, and the disclosure of personnel records rendered confidential under GS 115C-319 through 321, and to consider school safety components of school improvement plans pursuant to GS 115C-105.27 CL.
Yes, second?
Second.
Johnson, you've heard the motion and second for the approval for moving into closed session. You've heard that motion and second. Any further discussion? Those in favor, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Opposers, like sign. Ayes have it, and that motion carried. Let us take 5. All righty. Yeah. Nope. We'll straighten it out.
I'm going next week.
Sorry, 1 second.
I'm sorry. This bag. It doesn't belong to me. It's goodness. I need the bag today to go I might take it, forget I borrowed it.
The doctor be shut this down. Well, you the one that shut the camera off.
I did not. No, I promise, I haven't touched it. They got me straight early.
I have to go hang up the phone.
Okay. See?
Just checking. Just checking. And we were doing well. We were doing well. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. All right, we're back at 11. Approval of the personnel management.
Mr. Chairman, I offer a motion that we approve our personnel management.
Second.
Motion and second for the approval of 11.1 personnel management. You've heard that motion and second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Posters like sign. Ayes have it, and that motion carried. 12.1.
We'll ask Dr. Askew if she'll come forward for approval of the school improvement plan. Dr. Askew, as you're coming forward, we have some corrections for the emergency, the safety components.
Okay.
I have a couple of notebooks, and you and I'll talk, and you can share with Dr. Dowd.
Absolutely, will do. Good evening, Board Chair, Madam Vice Chair, members of our school board, and Dr. Bridges. I am requesting board approval of the district and school improvement plans for the 21-22 school year. The plans have been developed based on 2020 through 2021 and prior year data, and will be monitored on a monthly or more frequent basis as additional data becomes available. We were not required to get board approval last year due to the pandemic, and so now we're back on schedule with the annual board approval of the school improvement plans.
Any questions or comments? Do we have a motion with the addendum of cleaning it up?
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion that we approve the 2021-2022 school improvement plans with the corrections made.
Second.
You've heard the motion and second for the approval of the 2021-2022 school improvement plan and flash drives with the, not with the understanding that they will be cleaned up in their entirety. Heard that motion and second. Any further discussion or questions? Those in favor, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Opposers, no. Ayes have it. That motion carried. Thank you, ma'am.
So much. We'll make sure to take care of it.
Any correspondence? Okay. 14, items brought by superintendent or board members? No? Yes, sir.
Ask Ms. Pittman, where we were with the coaching supplements. Yeah.
So I need to schedule a meeting with Ms. Leary, Mr. Ellis, so that we can talk about the funding source for supplements. During last month's meeting, I think I shared with the board that we had looked at the supplement schedule for Wilson County as well as Nash County, and kind of looked at where we stood in comparison. I think with that, like I said, that another conversation needs to take place with Ms. Leary, because we know that we're moving in the direction of increasing our supplements. So like, what is our funding source going to be? Is that going to come out of local?
What are they going to do with it? They're going to go another round with the donation. Okay. All right, anything else?